Imagine waking up one day and realizing your body has been quietly falling apart, not from disease, not from injury, but from years of bad sleep, poor nutrition, chronic stress, and a lifestyle completely out of sync with your own biology. Now imagine handing all of that data to an artificial intelligence that analyzes every cell, every hormone, and every biological rhythm inside you, and builds a precise roadmap to reset everything. That is not science fiction anymore. That is happening right now. And the people using it are not just tech billionaires. They are everyday individuals taking back control of their health in ways that were impossible just a decade ago. How AI reads the body like a machine. The human body generates an enormous amount of biological data every single day. Heart rate variability, blood glucose fluctuations, sleep architecture, gut microbiome diversity, hormonal cycles, inflammation markers. These signals tell a complete story about the state of a person's health. The problem has always been that no single doctor, no single test, and no single protocol could process all of that information simultaneously and act on it in real time. That is exactly where artificial intelligence steps in. AI-powered health platforms now analyze hundreds of biomarkers at once, drawing connections between patterns that the human eye would never catch. A continuous glucose monitor worn on the arm feeds data into an algorithm that does not just track blood sugar. It correlates those readings with sleep quality, meal timing, stress levels, and even emotional patterns. The result is a full metabolic picture that shifts in real time. Companies in this space are now building AI systems that examine over 500 biomarkers per individual and generate a daily wellness protocol tailored specifically to that person's biology. This is not a generic supplement plan. This is precision medicine delivered on a consumer level. Brian Johnson, the tech entrepreneur behind the Blueprint protocol, became one of the most talked about examples of this philosophy in action. After years of exhaustion and burnout, Johnson assembled a team of over 30 medical professionals and began feeding every measurable piece of his biology into a data-driven system. The protocol tracked his sleep scores, organ health, metabolic function, and biological age simultaneously. His system eventually claimed to slow his biological aging rate to the point where his body aged only about 8 months for every 12 calendar months that passed. Whether someone views those results with skepticism or fascination, the approach itself drew global attention. Names like Kim Kardashian, Paris Hilton, and Jay Shetty invested in his company Blueprint when it raised $60 million in late 2025, signaling that AI-driven body optimization had officially crossed over from niche biohacking into mainstream culture. What Johnson and others are demonstrating is that the body can be treated less like a mystery and more like a system, one that responds predictably when given the right inputs at the right times. The old model of health was reactive. Something breaks, a doctor fixes it. The AI model is proactive. It detects drift before a breakdown occurs and adjusts the inputs before the system fails. The 3 pillars the AI protocol targets first. When an AI health protocol begins the process of resetting a body, it almost always prioritizes 3 core systems: sleep architecture, gut microbiome diversity, and circadian alignment. The reason these 3 come first is not arbitrary. They are deeply interconnected, and disruption in any one of them cascades into the others. Sleep is where the body performs its most critical repair work. During deep sleep stages, the brain clears toxic waste through the glymphatic system, the immune system conducts cellular maintenance, and growth hormone is released to rebuild tissue. Yet most adults in the modern world are chronically sleep-deprived, often without realizing how severe the damage is. An AI protocol does not simply tell someone to sleep 8 hours. It analyzes the actual structure of their sleep, the ratio of deep sleep to REM sleep, the consistency of sleep timing, body temperature at different stages, and adjusts variables like room temperature, light exposure, and supplement timing to engineer better sleep on a biological level. Devices like the 8 Sleep Smart Mattress dynamically cool the body during sleep based on real-time biometric data, actively guiding the sleeper into deeper recovery phases. That is not a passive comfort product. That is an active AI intervention. The gut microbiome is the second pillar. Research now confirms that the trillions of microorganisms living in the human digestive system operate on their own circadian rhythms, responding to when a person eats, what they eat, and how well they sleep. When the gut is disrupted through irregular meal timing, processed food, or sleep deprivation, the microbial community becomes unbalanced, a condition called dysbiosis. This imbalance drives inflammation, impairs immune function, disrupts hormone regulation, and even affects brain chemistry. The gut-brain axis is a two-way communication highway, and a destabilized gut sends distress signals directly to the brain, influencing mood, cognition, and stress response. AI-powered microbiome analysis identifies these imbalances in detail, mapping which bacterial strains are deficient and generating dietary and probiotic interventions calibrated to restore microbial diversity. This is not a general, more fiber recommendation. It is a personalized microbial repair protocol. The third pillar is circadian alignment. Every organ in the human body runs on a 24-hour internal clock. The liver, the heart, the immune system. Even individual cells follow rhythmic patterns of activity and rest. When a person's lifestyle consistently violates these rhythms, through late-night eating, artificial light exposure after dark, irregular sleep schedules, or shift work, the entire biological system falls out of synchronization. This misalignment is now strongly linked to obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and accelerated biological aging. AI platforms address this by analyzing a person's chronotype, their natural biological timing preferences, and restructuring their daily schedule to align with it. Meal timing, workout windows, supplement administration, and even work schedules get mapped to the body's peak hormonal and metabolic windows. The body stops fighting itself and begins operating in harmony. Where AI body reset technology is heading, the wearable technology powering these protocols has undergone a fundamental transformation. Earlier generations of devices simply collected data and displayed it afterward. A user would check their sleep score the next morning and try to interpret what it meant. The new generation of active wearables intervenes in real time. Devices like the Apollo Neuro use vibration frequencies to shift the nervous system between states, pushing the body toward focus, calm, or recovery on demand. Smart mattresses adjust temperature mid-sleep without waking the user. Continuous glucose monitors feed live data to AI companions that send real-time dietary adjustments based on what the body is actually processing at that moment. Beyond wearables, AI platforms are now incorporating genetic data, epigenetic testing, and metabolomic analysis to build a picture of not just how a person is living, but how their specific genes are expressing themselves in response to their environment. Epigenetic clocks can now measure a person's biological age down to the organ level, identifying whether the heart, brain, liver, or immune system is aging faster than the rest of the body. Platforms like TruDiagnostic offer these tests directly to consumers, giving individuals the same kind of data that was once reserved for research laboratories and elite clinical trials. The democratization of this technology is accelerating. When Brian Johnson's Blueprint protocol launched its AI companion feature, the stated goal was to make a version of his $2 million annual health protocol accessible to anyone, regardless of budget. The vision is a tiered system, the same biological principles, scaled to different financial realities. Basic blood testing, microbiome analysis, wearable data, and AI coaching layered together into one coherent health operating system. Celebrities like Gwyneth Paltrow and Tony Robbins have long advocated for personalized wellness approaches, but the difference now is that the AI layer removes the guesswork entirely. It is no longer about following a trend or trusting a guru. The data speaks for itself, and the protocol adjusts based on what the body actually responds to, not what a generalized study suggested might work for an average population. The body is not broken. In most cases, it is simply running on the wrong inputs, at the wrong times, without enough accurate feedback. The AI protocol does not add complexity to that equation. It removes confusion and replaces it with precision. Every glucose spike corrected, every sleep cycle optimized, every microbial imbalance addressed. These are not small improvements. Stacked together, they represent a genuine reset of the human system. The future of health is not a pill, and it is not a diet trend. It is a personalized, data-driven conversation between a person's biology and an intelligence powerful enough to actually listen.